What's up guys, my name's Liam and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new WLmouse Ying63. This is their brand new 8000 Hz gaming Hall effect keyboard. So with that being said, how's the build on this? How's the performance? And most importantly, could this possibly be the perfect gaming keyboard for you? Let's check it out. Before we get started today, I did want to let you know this was sent out to me. However, everything you're going to be hearing in this video is going to be my own words and my own opinions. Once you do open up the box, sitting inside is this cool looking briefcase style case. Right here at the top, you do have this cool piece of carbon fiber. Mine is numbered 0 because it is a review unit, but if you were to purchase this and pick it up yourself, then it should be numbered on there. And it does have an additional piece of carbon fiber up here, which is a really nice touch. The keyboard was actually covered up with this piece of plastic right here, but I already did take that out. Up here at the top of the case, you do have this zipper pouch. Inside, they do give you a switch and a keycap puller. And then also inside, they do include a USB-C to USB Type A cable. Over here on the right side, they do have this box. And inside here, it looks like this is a brush to clean off the top of your keyboard. They also do include 4 additional switches, and this does come with the magnetic Jade Pros inside, but it looks like these are those brand new magnetic Jade gaming switches. So I've been really excited to actually check those out. They do give you 4 of them in case you wanted to put them on the WASD key. And then they do give you 4 additional keycaps with this anime looking artwork on top. It also did come included with some documentation inside the box. This little piece right here is all in Chinese, and it looks like they do have a user manual here. This one is in Chinese, but they did also provide one right here that is in English. So here's the look of the layout itself, and it is a little bit more unique. They did try and make this a little bit more on the compact side. As you can see, you don't have a bigger shift button over here. It is just a single size key. And you do have your delete button down here with your arrow keys. But the aesthetic of this for me, even though it is mostly this black looking color, I do feel like it looks very clean. I'll go ahead and show you a shot here really quick of what this looks like when it is powered on with these transparent keycaps that are on here. It does actually have some pretty good weight to it. So we'll go ahead and throw it on the scale here really quick. Looks like it's coming in at about 813.7-ish grams. But I do want to say that clearly everything about this, from the presentation to the build on here, it does feel very premium. Up over here at the top of the keyboard, the port for the USB-C cable is sitting right here in the middle. They also do have this little piece of aluminum strip here. You can just simply remove this by taking out the screws right here. And I'll go ahead and zoom up on just the design of this case and the cutouts in general. They look very clean, all the edges and corners on this. I'm just a huge fan of this aesthetic. This is probably one of the best looking keyboards that I personally have ever seen. They do have a badge over here on the back. As you can see, this is numbered as well. Again, mine is 0. Yours should have the limited edition number over here as well. And it does have these pretty beefy rubberized corner feet over here in each one of the corners. And I do want to be very clear with you guys, as I've been using this, I generally prefer heavier style keyboards myself because I don't like them moving around on my desk. I've not had any issues with this feet design and the weight of this keyboard moving around on me, so it has been holding up very well. Here's a really quick close-up look of what the cutouts and just the design of this on the side looks like. Again, everything looks really clean on my copy over here. And then here's another close-up look of the cutouts over here. They look just as clean over here on the right side as well. Up here in the front of the keyboard, this has been very comfortable to use. It does have a very nice rounded front end up here. So even the height of this, it doesn't feel like it sits up too high or anything like that. So the entire time that I've been using this, just the feeling of the carbon skin up here, it feels incredibly smooth. Everything about this keyboard has just been very comfortable. There's no sharp edges or anything sticking out that I've noticed. So they've done a really fantastic job with this. When picking this keyboard up, you do have 3 different options for the keycaps. The one that I got is the Mo version, or MO. It does come with these PC transparent keycaps. Here's a look of them at the front and also what they look like from the rear. The second option is called the Ying. This is what the keycaps look like. These are using PBT dye sublimation keycaps. And then for the third option, you have the Ying. It has this artwork on the top. It looks like it does have the lettering down here on the bottom, and these are double shot PBT injection side printed dye sublimation keycaps. They're also using the Gateron magnetic Jade Pro switches. I've talked about these in several of my previous videos, and these are currently some of my favorite switches to game with on the market. Once you do remove all the screws inside the switch plate, you can simply just slide all of these pieces out. So here's a look of the switches inside of the aluminum switch plate itself. As you can clearly see, they have these really cool pour-on foam sound dampening pieces right here for the space bar. I'm not seeing a lot of lube in these stabilizers, so if they are lubed, it is light, but the actuation on them actually feels really smooth, and these stabilizers have felt pretty good. Here's a look of what the rear of the switch plate looks like. And then separating the switch plate from the PCB, they do have a piece of pour-on foam sitting right here in the middle. Here is a close-up look of the top side of the PCB. Nice clean design on there. And how this is actually mounted inside of this case itself is there's these 4 points over here in each one of the corners, and they're using these longer type of anchor screws to give you a little bit more movement with the way that the PCB moves with inside the case itself. So once you pull the PCB out from the case, I did not disconnect the ribbon cable from the back of it. It's kind of this thinner looking ribbon cable there. But here's a close-up shot right here, trying to get my hand out of the way of what the back of the PCB looks like. And then right underneath the rear of the PCB, it looks like they do have 2 additional pieces of padding. First, here at the top, they do have an additional piece of pour-on foam. And then right underneath that, they also do have an additional piece of silicone. So now let's go ahead and we're going to drop the sound test. For the software, they are using this web-based driver. Once you do pair it, it does allow you to come in here, click on and open it up. Starting here on the first selection is where you can remap keys. They have a bunch of different multimedia functions, lighting functions, and etc. down over here. As you can see, you could set up these multiple layers. Next up, for the performance tab, this is where you have the option to control the sensitivity of the keyboard. The first tab down here to the left is where you have a mechanical mode. This just allows you to control the fixed actuation distance. Next up, you got a speed mode right here. This does give you access to the rapid trigger settings. As you can see, it already pre-selects some of these common keys for you, or you can come down here to the RT mode where nothing is selected. You can come down here and select all keys to enable all the keys, or you can do them individually, but the switches in this keyboard are the magnetic Jade Pro. Here are the different 3 other options that they currently have. These are the basic settings that I have been testing this keyboard out with. As you can see, they don't have an initial press. They just have this pre-press protection travel. It goes as low as 0.1 millimeters. You can make adjustments to it in 0.01 millimeters all the way up to 3.5 millimeters with these magnetic Jade Pro switches. And then you have the rapid trigger settings over here. You can go as low as 0.01 millimeters on this, make adjustments in 0.01 millimeter increments up to 3.5. Same thing over here for the release travel. And then down here is where you have the option to do the bottom protection travel. This is if you're walking in a game or anything like that and you notice that you barely move but you're still pressing down the key and you stop walking, you can come in here and adjust this for the lift off to prevent any types of errors. And then over here to the right, you do have the continuous rapid trigger. I do recommend leaving this off if you're going to be playing at incredibly low values for rapid trigger. I did notice that when I had this enabled, it did make my keyboard kind of glitchy and it just randomly hit keys all the time. Once I did just disable that, again using these lower settings, the issue did appear to go away. And then they also have this continuous dynamic calibration tab. I've been messing around with this as well. I haven't noticed any issues with it. It has been working pretty stable for me so far. And when you're all done messing with these settings, obviously you want to come over here and hit the save button to save all of your changes. Next up over here on the advanced settings tab, this is where you can enable or disable SOCD if you do wish to use it. You can see you can do multiple combinations here. I've just set up on basic keys like A and D. This SOCD has been working perfectly for me in all the games I've been playing. And here is a list of some other types of options you can do to the advanced settings for that. For the lightings tab, pretty self-explanatory. You can either turn the lighting off, have a solid color, or do the full cycle, and they have several presets in here. Then you can adjust things like the brightness and the speed. And then lastly over here is where you do have a tab where you can just press keys on your keyboard to test it out. For the performance, I did test this on my solenoid rig versus the Ying63. I do want to put out a really quick disclaimer for these results, as there is a lot of varying factors that can ultimately affect the results of this test. But I do perform this as accurately as I can to try and get a good general overall idea on how this keyboard does perform. But I did perform this test both 10 times on the press and the release for the Ying63, and then 10 times on both the press and the release for the Ying63. The Ying63 is coming out a little ahead on the press, winning 6 out of 10 times, but when it came to the release, they both tied with 5 wins going to the Ying63 and 5 wins going to the Ying63. Alright guys, so that wraps things up on the WLmouse Ying63, and clearly I'm just such a huge fan of this keyboard. I'm really happy to see WLmouse going in a direction trying to offer more unique and premium products out there, and without question, just the look of this keyboard is stunning. But just everything about the build of this, using some of my favorite switches to the magnetic Jade Pros, the performance on this keyboard also has been fantastic. I really love what WLmouse has done here with the keyboard, and if you do have a premium budget to be able to pick up a product like this, in my opinion, it's well worth it. Alright guys, so if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out, please let me know down in the comments below. If you've enjoyed watching this video and are interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, please drop this video a like and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next one.